Okay, if we are going to do something on the inside, is that going to move things left or right or up or down? Left or right, good. And in this case, what would it do? 3 to the right, very good. How about if it's like that then at the end? And then 7 down, okay, good. So, have you noticed anything special about what's on the inside, besides the fact that it moves things left and right? It's reversed. What do you mean by reversed? Yeah, it kind of goes the opposite of the way you'd think. Reversed, okay? Some people would say that is, instead of being intuitive, like they say Apple products are intuitive, they're counterintuitive, okay? That would be like everything you expect to happen, like if you touch here on the screen, you expect it to like open something, that it closes it. Wouldn't that be an incredibly annoying phone? It was counterintuitive. All right, so expect that whatever you're doing on the inside does the opposite of what you'd expect it to do. All right, I'd like you to tell me in words in the response app, the instant response, what's going to happen on this one? And you can abbreviate it with R for right or L for left, U for up and D for down, and send me your responses. Let me see if I've got pretty much everybody dialed in on this or not. I'm going to pause for just a second on the recording while I get those responses. Okay, so what happens if I throw a negative on the front? It was going to the right 4 and then up 2. Now, what's that negative going to do? You don't know, do you? Yes. You have a theory. The opposite. Negative means opposite. I kind of like that. But you can't just say my shape will be opposite. What does that mean? All right, that's what you're going to be learning today. We are going to be trying to figure out what happens when you throw a negative on the front, or what happens when you throw a negative on the inside. What will happen to the shape? And you're going to investigate that. Now, as an investigator, if you're investigating something, you need to know what the question is, right? If you're a private investigator, they call you up and say, hey, I'd like you to figure out something about my wife. Wouldn't they have to be a little more specific? Like, you know, is she fooling around? Or, you know, like, what? That's like the number 2 thing that private investigators do is check on spouses, find out if somebody's cheating. Okay, anyway, so if you have to have the question, so what is the question? I am recording. And yes, it's okay to be talking about that because that's what private investigators do. If you're investigating this whole negative thing, you need to know, what am I asking? It is flipping. Yes, it's flipping. Very good. But the question is, what kind of a flip? And what happens when you do a double flip? And there's kind of interesting things you're going to figure out. There are 3 ways you can do this problem. Or in the, do you remember the XY chart? Remember me telling you it was very good because it always worked on every problem, but it's also kind of slow? All right, I'd like you to make me an XY chart for this one and just show yourself it isn't that bad. I'd like you to do this in notes, and then you're going to billboard it to me so that I know whether you're getting it or not. Now, can you use anything you want for X? Yes, but I would really be annoyed if you used things like 23. Pick things that you could actually graph. So you pick anything you want for X. Okay, pause for a second while you're working on that. All right, so 4, 2 is a point. Give me another point. You know for sure it worked. 2 comma what? 2 comma 6. Good. If I put in a 2, 2 minus 4 makes negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. I agree. Give me some more. Yes? 0. Okay. 4 squared is 16, or negative 4 squared is 16, plus 2 is 18. Agreed. Any others? All right, so when it's all said and done, you're going to be able to use this method to graph things that you don't know what they look like. In other words, some kids were asking me, Mr. Server, I don't know what this looks like. How am I supposed to graph it? I get it. You know, you're trying to learn something new here. You do know what this looks like, right? And since you don't know what this does to it, you can't just guess. If I'm asking you to graph things today on graph paper that you don't know how they look, you need to make some points. You'll make an XY chart, and you'll figure it out. Next most common annoying question, because I think it's not annoying. I don't mean it to mean like it's annoying because I have to explain it individually to 10 different people. So let me explain it to you all at once. You can graph this. People are saying, but you can't graph things that are negative underneath the root. How come you can graph this? Why can you graph this? Yes? There you go. Go ahead. Finish the thought. So if x is a negative number, if you put in like -2, it's going to come out positive. Very good. So you can graph that one. Don't just assume that it's imaginary and you can't graph it. No, you can graph that. You just have to use negative numbers for x. All right, very good. Okay, so when we're investigating, you are trying to figure out how this is going to make it flip versus how that's going to make it flip versus how having both negatives is going to make it flip. And we call it a reflection. And we call it a reflection instead of just saying left, right, we say it's going across the x-axis or across the y-axis. All right, so when you're all said and done, you should be able to say, oh, I can tell Mr. Serra that that's a reflection across the y-axis. All right, so your homework is in it's not in the note, there's no notes for today, so it's in the it's under the homework area, and it's called Reflections, Investigation. Find it, Schoology, right now. Reflections, Investigation. Then turn it my way so I can see that you have found it, and just keep it turned my way, because I don't want you to start it anyways. I just want you to be ready to start it, because in a minute we're going to be taking this homework quiz. I'm going to pause the recording again while we take this little homework quiz. All right, I'm changing the Seven Dwarfs song from hi-ho to hi-vo. Why? Somebody smart try to put this together with what we've been talking about. I prefaced earlier some words that would help with this moment. Oh, yes? Yes? Go ahead. Something about, okay, come on, put it together. Put it together. Yes, the word horizontal and vertical are involved. Oh, somebody's got it together. Wait, just wait. I want to see if more people can put it together. 3 people think they have it now. What is this hi-vo? All right, go for it. Oh, not inverse. Thank you for trying. I thought you had it when you started. Yes? Oh, yes. Horizontal inside and vertical outside. Same thing as with these. If you've got this, that 5 is on the inside, so it's horizontal. And I even see that written on some pre-calc kids' tests sometimes. They'll write hi-vo at the top of the paper, and then they remind themselves that it's horizontal on the inside. And on the outside stuff, whether it's there or even here, that's outside, so it's vertical. Vertical on the outside. Okay, enough of my teaching. You go investigate some more and finish up your homework. Please come up if you have trouble and ask me. And that's all I got for the video for today. Okay, one last thought. You were supposed to investigate something today. You were supposed to figure out what happened when you threw a negative in front of it or on the inside of it. Have you figured it out? Raise your hand if you think you know what happens. All right, thank you. And somebody, in terms of the hi-vo thing, the whole horizontal on the inside, vertical on the outside, use that kind of language to help me understand what would happen if I did this. You can call it a flip, but technically it's a reflection. What happens when I do that? Yes? It gets reflected. Which way? Horizontally or vertically? Because why? On the inside. See, it's the whole hi-vo thing again. Horizontally on the inside. Okay, so that's it. I like to think of this as left-right. So a very folksy way to say it is it's a left-right flip. Do you get that? So if it was a V shape, can you even tell that this thing gets flipped left-right? No, you can't even tell because when you flip it, this side comes over here and that side comes over here and it looks identical. So it's not the greatest graph for that. How about this? Square root negative x. That's the one that people were saying, you can't graph that because it's imaginary. But you can graph it, can't you? It's just you got to use negative numbers. And so instead of the parent graph, which looked like this, what kind of a flip is it? A left-right flip. And what's the official way to say that? A reflection over the y-axis. All right. And then when it's all done, then I hope you notice that it would kind of look like that. All right. What's the other alternative? If it doesn't flip that way, downwards, okay? That's a reflection officially which way? Over the what axis? Over the x-axis. And then that would look kind of like that. Okay, that's all I got for the video for today. Now, you guys can stay here for another minute till the bell rings.